All right. So good morning from my side. I know it's evening time, late for some of you guys. So appreciate you guys taking the time to come out. Uh, you know, I hope everybody is excited and ready for merger. I know you know people are getting antsy, and you're gonna start to see a lot of frustration as we get to the build up because uh, PG is not marketing. Um, in a way that I think most of us expect them to market. And I know everybody's dying for a sneak peek at the art. The way that they're rolling out the sneak peek isn't normal. It's not going to be in Discord. I can tell you that. So, um, you guys just enjoy the experience that we're about to go through for the merger. Um, say goodbye to your favorite PG Gen 1, Gen 2, whichever one you got, Duravox. Uh, you know, we're going under one collection. So that's happening the next week or so. We've talked to Amrish. Amrish is excited. We've seen the art, ton of different traits, and I can't wait till everybody gets to see it, give their opinion, and then we can finally move forward as a group, establishing our own identity, and moving forward. Because I know everybody's ready for that. So I hope you guys are excited. A couple things that I just wanted to chit chat about today, and I think it was a good time to host this as Champion Talk. And one of our core values, as far as a team and as far as a community, have always been since day one is we're kind of the PG members that give back. We kind of set the culture um, as kind of leading by example. And it's not just from the team; it's also from the community members. And a big part of that are those of you who also earn the champion role. It's a very limited role, but it's something that a lot of our holders have worked for and earned throughout the year and a half that we've kind of been building our community and our Citadel server. So our main focus when we first started this champion role was basically to funnel the people that wanted to help in some capacity. Um, we understand, that there's a lot of different ways that people can help or support, and we wanted to try our best to, you know, give thanks and praise to those people that were kind of going the extra mile. We don't have expectations as far as for, holders. Some holders hold and they're never in Discord. Some holders are, very active when it comes to being in the server. Um, but it doesn't change the fact that regardless if you're active or not active, a lot of people help out in different ways, and we wanted to make sure throughout the year when we noticed that as a team that we granted the champion role um, for two reasons. One, for recognition. I think it's always important to recognize the people that are working hard and that are trying, to build with the team and with the group, and also from a perspective of just earning Estelle points, which, as you guys all know at this point, is pretty much our currency for our Discord server. So there were two ways for us to reward, um, that actual role. As the year went on, we the last month or probably the last 2 months, we've really we've done two things. We've paused Estelle points. I don't think there's a purpose to kind of just add more points. We can just make prices on things that we put into the Discord server, um, at a higher cost because we're diluting kind of the amount. But we decided to pause it on our first year anniversary in April. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, we're not earning any more points. What we did do was when we actually had a issue and we lost our point system, we took that opportunity and we dated back to the first month that we actually opened the Citadel, and we allowed those holders who were still holding either PG assets and those holders who um, were holding Sentinels to basically reclaim as if they were there for day one, and then we pause the points. So that does two things. That one allows the holders the ability to kind of rack up on their points, and then us not dispersing them anymore limits them, and makes them brings it a little bit more value when we're running some of these raffles. Um, we probably are going to be putting a cap on points you can earn through Quest, um, because we really want to maximize the fact that our holders who were here since day one or who are Sentinel holders, we want to add some value to the points by making it, by when we put out prizes, we don't want basically somebody just, everybody to have, you know, where they can all max out on points, because at that point it just doesn't make it, it doesn't add any benefit. So um, that is why we paused the actual point system. We will be doing it as far as role based once the merger's complete. We did start the OG Sentinel role. So those of you who did fill out the form, I went through all the wallets, verified the Sentinels that were in the wallets, and then granted the OG Sentinel role. So the Sentinel role will earn SDAL points once the merger is complete, and we'll be switching over and making just a chat just for the OG Sentinel, getting rid of the actual Sentinel chat as well. Um, I think we've given enough time for people to kind of decide if they think it's valuable for if it holds any value to hold that role. So um, I'm happy to see we have over 70. I want to say at least over 65 um, separate holders that have locked in a role. And if you filled out the form, then you're basically locking in your PG assets for your three PG assets that you're going to get for your Sentinel. So you still got time if you don't have a Sentinel, uh, trade or there's really not many on the floor, to be honest. I think there's only like two, and the floor price, I mean, it's up there. So you can either find somebody or wait until after merge. But after merge, our goal is to add value to the vault. So we plan to do our best to add value to our actual um, Sentinel role, or to our OG Sentinel role, and then also to our champion role. So that's what we're here for today, is to talk about the champion role. And I do want to stay focused on that. So I try my best not to tail off too much on conversation. So um, one of the things that we learned working throughout the past year, and I know we've talked about it with you guys, and I've said it often, it's probably our biggest blessing, is that we started with zero funds. A lot of people have a different perception as far as what failure and what success looks like. And I know some of you guys are in PG chat, and um, some holders are very antsy just with marketing. Some holders, think that fusions were dead, or are dead, and I completely disagree from that perspective. And part of that, I think, shows with how many people were able to, felt it was valuable enough to claim the OG Sentinel role. Um, that shows that there is a culture within PG of people who value the efforts that Sentinel team kind of, displayed. And we understand throughout this journey that it's really tough to not, to work for something um, with limited funds or with no funds, right? And the year and a half, I give a lot of thanks and praise to our team. They were able to, really just stick to the script and continue to push our original vision, which was figuring out how to benefit our holders by utilizing our builders and our creators within our space and within our team and within our community, starting with PG. So um, now that we're moving on to the merge, one of the things that has really stuck in my mind, and I've talked to Visca about this, you know, um, not being able to figure out how to get my team paid, or landing gigs that that we're able to actually earn some revenue from as a team. It's something that's really stuck with me from day one. Um, as time has gone on, it's a thought that has pondered in my mind. I'm lucky enough to where I was able to be blessed with a team that invest their time and doesn't really hold that against me too much. But I wanted to shift the culture when it comes to the champions, and to that role specifically. Um, so what we're planning to do now, and I'm setting aside a small budget, uh, realistically for 8 weeks, and our goal for doing this is to see if we can maximize, um, the actual champions within our circle, and see if we can grow our actual community. We want to get to about 1,000 users in the Discord, but we want to do it in a little bit of a more organic way. And we figured, there's really not a better opportunity to start that than by investing into our champion role. So um, I don't have a full breakdown as far as the incentive program, but we are going to be looking for, and we do have. I want to 2, 3 alpha callers. We are looking for 2 space hosts, and we are space hosts, alpha caller, and thread writers. And we want to start by focusing on the actual champion role. So ideally, we want to get you guys um, small increments, payments for basically giving your time uh, to the Citadel. And I don't know if you guys have taken a look at, the X page for, our account for our Twitter account, and or if you looked at my, Twitter background, we have started a platform that we want to utilize for our space hosts, which we plan to attack kind of like in a couple different ways, which is basically it's called inGrained 101. I think it sticks with the script as far as PG being revolved around. We're always chasing rice, and that's kind of like what we're in it for. And then our background also has a image of like a thumbprint, which I think signifies kind of like the stamp that we've left. Not only in Web3 but also in PG. So we'll be incentivizing people to utilize that background for their new PG PFPs, and we'll have some small incentive programs laid out for that. So people that are utilizing it, will benefit a little bit by extra gifts and stuff. Um, Alpha callers, thread writers, space hosts. We're looking to set a weekly budget. I want to say I think it's like 1,500 that I'm able to set aside for a 2 month span. So I just have to break down the numbers a little bit more. But we want to basically give back to those 3 roles, and I'll explain why. One, uh, when it comes to building a server, I think it's clear for this last year and a half. Um, most servers, most teams, all revolve around the value of alpha. Um, and I think that's just what it is. You see this a lot. Like typically, the more active communities revolve around that Degen style lifestyle, which isn't really what we've kind of been about. But I think now, as our goal has been to expand the community, I think it's clear that we have to focus on that. And we've had Diablo in here since day one. Tara's another Gen 1 holder who's also, has started to drop some alpha. And then we also have Lit Machine, who's the latest, was the most recent champion role, granted, who's also going to be focusing on the BTC side. Um, and we'll be basically starting off like with weekly increments. I want to say like 25 to $30 for each of them, to hold a more steady pace of alpha, to give us some benefits and some reason to get people actually in here and to benefit from it. We'll be tracking that as well, and sharing that on like Twitter and things like that to bring more people in. I think that's clear. A lot of people jump into many of these discords basically for the alpha, and it's again, it's not something that we've really focused on since day one, but it's clear that to garner some activity and some interest from people who may not want to visit, or are wondering why they should visit the Citadel. We've got a few callers that are really, really good and really detailed, and people that I trust that are not just making calls because they're getting paid for it, which is something that I'm really big on. So we'll be looking to incentivize them. If you are somebody that does alpha on another channel, and you're looking to commit to 3 to 5 posts a week, um, to get incentivized or to work on that program, you can just reach out to us. Um, Second, thread writers. So I think I think we're at a point where some of the stuff that people are posting on X is it's really like dried out. So we're working on 3 main topics: financing, gaming, and project development, that we want to really actually I should say for financing as well, that we want to revolve kind of like our inGrained platform around. So we're looking for. I did speak to actually somebody that writes threads and has a pretty good following. We're looking for basically 2 people to commit to like 2 threads a month, so four for the month, just to keep our brand and our image kind of around. And we would be utilizing our inGrained platform uh, to basically give credit to the writers, but to also attract their user base, their follower base as well, which I think is going to help us kind of grow as people on the outside can see the type of people that we have working on the inside, and as we revolve, a small allocation around those people, I think it encourages the people that are working or the people that are interested, because I know not everybody's interested, or not everybody does that, or not everybody has the time to do some of these things, which is fine. You're not losing, whoever earned their champion role isn't going to lose it if they don't want to, partake in this incentive program. But what in general, what we're doing is trying to harness the followers of the people that are actually already working in here to grow our base. So um, the last one I think is the most important, and I think we have a couple good people that we're trying to set up like VCs with, just to get them on the same ball and kind of talk to them about the program. But space hosts, which I think is probably one of the most important things that you can have as a group. Um, and it's something that, you know, for us to really get notoriety on the outside and to bring value to our OG role, um, the more people that we have within the Discord, just for connection, connection wise, and for our builders who are looking to get their products or their projects in front of more eyes. Um, I think having, a couple spaces throughout the month for our community is very important, and we want to incentivize some space hosts as well. So, um, champion role is going to be what we focus on when it comes to incentivizing you guys. And I think, like I said, it's a limited role, um, but it's something that people have earned throughout the last year and a half, and it's going to be something that I think is going to be fun, and rewarding in the same way. So, this is kind of like our first step to committing to actually investing monetary into the project. I know we've done things. We've held like uh, raffles for on Maxis, and those are all raffles that we put up for the community. We have the Gen 2 raffle now that's up. That's all given to the community from the team. So um, there's different things that we're trying to do to bring some value, and we understand as a team how difficult it is to um, commit your time and to commit your effort to a community, and it doesn't bring back any monetary value. It doesn't incentivize in a way that makes it interesting enough for people to, you know, the fact that we are a separate entity. and reinvesting in the people that have kind of worked with us throughout the past year. So, um, yeah, that's the main thing that I wanted to touch on today. If you guys have any questions, comments, you just want to chit chat, feel free. That's why we held it in the VC. But that is our goal, to incentivize the champion role. Um, and look to basically give back to you guys, because throughout the past year, it's been, we've had times where it's very difficult, as I've said before, in positions of, I apologize, I'm driving to work, so I don't mind the non seatbelt sound in the background. Um, we know firsthand what it's like to put that sweat equity in. And, I said to Vista the other day, I said, if we're putting money and putting time into this community, why not direct some of the incentives to the actual people who have helped us build hands-on throughout the last year and a half? So this is our way of doing that. I know we don't have a large budget, and I know some people might be listening like, $30 a week, it adds up. 1,500 buck budget for 8 weeks goes fast, and we know that we want to do it in a way that motivates people to want to do it and to feel proud that they're doing it, which is another thing that, another reason why we want to do this. We're proud to be Sentinel holders. We're proud to carry on the original vision from the PG team. We know the type of community that we have, and regardless what anybody says, this is the culture. This is the movement within PG that everybody's going to start to see. You know, I think PG's team has acknowledged just by setting everything up the way that they're setting it up for the new collection. Um, I say a lot, one NFT is one NFT, but you'll still have your Gen 1 role. But in a sense, when it comes to some of the benefits that you're going to get, each NFT is going to get what each NFT gets, regardless of role. So, just keep that in mind. And we understand, that we've left our mark as a community and as a faction, and we're not willing to give up on that, and we're gonna try this next 6 months to see if the investment of adding some monetary value for the actual people that are giving back is beneficial to expanding our group, and if it's a necessity. So um, we don't want to just do it with any role, or just hop into Plaza um, and ask anybody, because I think that takes away from the people that have been building with us since day one. And we have champions that don't have Sentinels or PG assets. A lot of us have different circumstances. $30 is a lot to some of us, depending on where we're located. A week, some people can cover their groceries with that. That's the beauty of Web3. I know that's not the case for everybody, and not everybody will be interested for that type of small budget. But this is what we're trying to do to give back to the community and give back to the people that have been working with us. So yeah, that's that. Any questions? Please don't be too quiet, you guys. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now, Cesar.
Morning.
Uh,
You know
good
how it
morning.
is.
So,
All everybody says is good morning sometimes. Yo, good job though, man.
what do you guys think? Do,
Yeah.
do you? I appreciate that. Um, what do you guys think? About this idea? Do you guys think that it's something that some of you guys might have any interest in? Um, is it worth investing some monetary gains, some cash flow into our ecosystem with our holders?
You were kind of speeding up for some reason, like there was an issue. You're asking, is it worth giving back to the community so that you can get like some contribution from them?
What do
Is that
you,
what you're
yeah,
saying?
like what do you think about incentivizing or having an incentive program for start off with our champion role because that's who our focus is really on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. It's a good thing, and at the same time, for when you have limited funds, it's it's something that's challenging because you have to come out of your own pocket with that, right? Or team pocket, whatever. But I mean, it just shows the reality. Like oftentimes, nothing is really free. You know what I mean? So, but there's occasionally you have people that really believe in the cause and in the vision, and they just out of charity they lend their time and everything. But it's good to reward those people. And so like um, I think working towards getting sustainable income, to reward people who actually contribute. That's a really good thing. And because like I'm running slimes myself, and so I can understand that from a founder's perspective. So yeah, but I think you're doing a great job. I think we're all um, doing our part, and you as a CEO are just doing an amazing job. So I congratulate you with that. And I think little by little, we just continue to grow SDAO. Like I was saying in the past, like I was just really um, waiting for this merger, man. It took forever because without the PFPs, the new PFPs, you can't really brand with something that's gonna disappear. So I'm really glad that we're finally gonna have the official PFPs. Waiting to see the what it really looks like. I mean, I saw hints and stuff, but I'm not sure what it's gonna all look like in the end. 10,000 piece collection, that's a lot. So you're gonna have a lot of variety. So yeah, but yeah,
Gotcha.
definitely working with the champions, man. That's the way to go, I think. And I'm inspired by how we've been doing things at SDAO. You know, yeah, I think it's dope, man.
I appreciate that, Cap. Yeah, I mean, I know we kept this under wraps. I didn't really tell anybody about this other than Visca, so I know Cap was first time hearing this. But we wanted, Cap obviously is has been with us since day one, um, and it's been a very important piece to what we've done. But I did want to kind of get him by surprise because wanted to see his reaction on that. So I'm glad that you're happy with that, Cap. Um, I think touch on what you said, with the Sean thing. Our expectations, I think, were tailored correctly as a group and as a team. Um, and this statement we've always said, we are our own entity, in a sense. And I've pondered this thought with Visca lately, a lot more lately, and it's you know we're kind of in this realm of like we have a presence, but we don't have a presence. And I was listening to an AMA that Amish did the other day, and one of our holders gave us, uh, I think, probably gave us the most highest of compliments that I think a team can ever ask for, and it was something along the lines of, don't quote me, but uh, it was something along the lines of, I feel more a part of SDAO than I do PG, and I'll tell you what, man, it was definitely a full circle moment. To hear that first off unexpectedly, in a conversation that was a pretty high intense conversation from a PG holder standpoint and a PG team standpoint, with some of the holders, talking about some of their displeasure with lack of marketing and stuff like that, or their view of lack of marketing. This comment really was out of left field, but it made me feel two different ways. And one, it made me feel good. I think that's obvious. I think, to hear that coming from a holder who I didn't have a previous relationship prior to starting this journey. Some of our people here, I've known through chubby little jurors. Um, some of them I've known, straight through PG, and I've had more of a personal relationship. But this particular individual, I don't see too often. I do have, obviously a relationship with I think everybody in our server. Um, but it was very surprising to me, and I was just happy to hear that response. But on the flip side to that, you know, we started because our main goal was to give back to PG. And, I think rule number one for the 48 laws of power is, you never outshine your master. And, don't take that word in a negative tone, please. Um, but, similar to what you see with like a team like Eminem and 50 Cent, and kind of that approach that 50 always stands on his support for Eminem, never tries to kind of outshine him. My attitude in life is very similar when it comes to that rule, and I never want to outshine the people that have paved the way for us, or have given us the opportunity uh, to grow from a platform that they've given us. So like, I realized like when I heard that comment, I was like, damn, you know, I missed. I want people more to feel like, yo, you should be in the Citadel server. That's like a benefit of being a PG holder. Like we are the actual holders within the community that are like all about giving back to each other. And it started with that champion role, which, believe it or not, was something that really hammered the nail into this thought, because this thought for incentivizing the champion role um, has been around for at least a month and a half. Um, and I think hearing that comment and hearing that kind of response from one of our Sentinel holders, um, felt really good, but also made me realize that I'm not doing a good enough job uh, branding us in a light where we are also PG, and I think it kind of motivated for me to be like, all right, you know what? I think we're on the right track with our thought process on how do we grow from this point. And it all circled back to champion rules. So um, at the end of the day, the champion role is going to be the only other role that earns that earns SDAO. So you guys will benefit in that sense. But you know, some of us can use a couple extra dollars. Some of us might not care for it, which is fine. But I started with this role, and I'm not. If you don't have the champion role at the moment, um, then the only way you're really gonna get into the incentive program is if you're somebody that our team has kind of like talked about hunting down and kind of getting them in, because we do have some people who are willing to help, and through previous conversations throughout the year, with XYZ. We did specify these three specific main points for a reason, because we feel that most people are looking for alpha, regardless if we hang our hats on being Degens or not. It is what it is, that that's a vital part of Web3. So you have to have something along those lines of being able to get people back in for a certain reason. Um, Being able to uh, be on a platform that reaches a little bit further out. I think it's important. I typically like to read good threads, although they are few and far between. I think a lot of them are paid shills. And when I feel like that, I just won't read it. These aren't going to be really these will be incentivized, but they won't really be for SDAO. It's not going to be like a shill program for SDAO. It's going to be more of a shill program for our people that will also be branded with SDAO. So, but it'd be different topics and different things that they already do, or that they're working on, or things that they're investigating, or whatever you want to put it, for like threads. And then for space hosts, listen, I don't have the pull on X. I don't have that crazy follower base. This is something Visca and I have talked about for a long time. It's something that I think we've missed um, when it comes to like our community development. So instead of me having an ego and kind of beating a dead horse, why not incentivize some of our PG holders who have a following, and utilize that to brand the SDAO brand? So um, we are going to also uh, Drip has a few different features. Holding a certain PFP will earn extra rewards. Having something in your bio specifically, directed towards SDAO. We don't know exactly what we want yet, but these will earn rewards. So you will have different opportunities to still earn SDAO in a sense. But we really want to focus on shedding light on the actual people within our community, and showing kind of like the variety of holders and community members that we have, which I think will attract other people to trying to figure out, like, what are we all about? These guys, you know, what the hell is this damn incentive program? I'm noticing, I'm in the same community with this person. I didn't even know about PG until I seen this guy in a space, whatever. This is, I think, the next step to kind of expand our community. So we're gonna tackle, the next 60 to 90 days, and then we'll revisit and say, okay, was it worth the budget? Is it not? Is it effective? And we'll revisit that. But I think we have to take that step, and um, I think we're at a point where I don't want anything from Sean. Um, but the support for our faction, for being dedicated and committed to PG. And this is kind of like our first step of separating in that sense. Um, because at the end of the day, we are, our own identity. And in order for us to, really bring value to our holders, we have to figure out ways to monetize things. And the only way for us to do that is to really say that we push the envelope on branding, and this is the way we're going to start that. So we're going to reinvest into the people that have invested their time and their sweat into us, and we're going to roll with the punches and kind of see how it goes from there. So I know we've been on, about 40 minutes, so I do want to be respectful to time. I do got to get back into, the office shortly as I'm arriving to work. Do any of you guys have any comments, any thoughts, any feedback? Feel free to take the floor. And if not, it's okay. All right. Cool. Uh, super useful for guys. So, okay. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. All right. Is Tara still on the VC? My fault, you guys. I really don't look at my phone when I'm doing the spaces. Hold on. Let me see. Dun, dun, dun. All right, cool. So, Tara, what we talked about, let's see, you said, okay, I can't talk to VC. Also got here late, so I missed most of what you said, and it's all super useful for you guys. So, what would the incentive be for something? Okay, so like, Tara, you're calling alpha calls in our Discord. We're focusing on three avenues. One, our team has realized that you have to have something that creates the need for people to want to come and visit the Discord, not just good mornings and my crazy gifts. And one of those the most important things, or the most concrete things, and most projects is good alpha. So we're going to be looking to incentivize the alpha callers. Um, on a small weekly budget, ideally about 25 to $30 a week. And we would just ask for like a minimum of maybe 3 to 5 calls throughout the week. Um, as far as just to participate. We're also looking for thread writers, and then also a couple space hosts. We don't have the amount we don't have the full incentive program kind of like written out just yet. The budget for the next 60 days, I think, is falling right around 1,500. So we're gonna basically the next week or two will gather the interest from the champions. There's we're waiting to talk to I know many of you guys might know him, Zero Cool. Zero Cool was a big help for us. He brought Visca along into the fusion program, and he did a lot of VCs and a lot of spaces for PG, and he's always been a big supporter. So although he doesn't have the champion role, that's somebody that I would love to also get to host some spaces where they're sponsored by Sentinel DAO. So we're gonna kind of line that up the next week and a half. You guys are gonna be busy with the PG merger, and then once that merger hits, we're gonna close out the regular Sentinel chat. Our OG Sentinels will be there, and our champions now have their own chat. So we'll be funneling the information through there. Um, we also have, all right, I think if that doesn't answer your question, Tara, just type in things worth experimenting. Just depends on the purpose and intent. We all came here for being the sake of part of fun. The Russian community that helps build and connect people together. Me personally, I found myself in an awkward position. I find Sentinel famous family worth supporting, helping nonetheless. I think with the community purpose whenever you collection. No, Zazo, I agree with that 100%. And that's why earlier I was saying that when I heard that comment, and I don't know if Tara, I don't know if you were in that VC with Amrish earlier this week when he was getting pounded like a porn star on a Sunday. Um, but one of our holders had said that they felt more part of Sentinel DAO than they did of being a Gen 1. And as good as that makes me feel, also lets me know that I didn't do a good enough job um, stamping our stamping us as a benefit for PG. Um, and I want to do a better job at that. So this is, yes, supposed to help with PG brand awareness, but also with Sentinel awareness, brand awareness, and PG's community as a whole. So that is the ultimate goal. Somebody said yesterday in chat, I think it was a cool, 'cause, people are getting frustrated with marketing. I want you guys also, let me just say this too, pay attention. If we're going to critique the team, you know, just at least do it from a standpoint of acknowledging what they already like, the info that they've given us. PG isn't marketing our art the way that you guys normally see it. Okay, 9 times out of 10, most teams will market their art by dropping a couple sneak peeks on Twitter. They'll drop their best possible fucking picture, and it garnishes some hype, blah blah blah. Then they roll it out like that. That's not what PG's doing. Our our PG team is really focusing on putting us in a position to have ownership in these other projects that don't necessarily have our face attached to it. I think PG was at a point one time where it was hard for us to get whitelist because other communities basically knew that we would flip the fucking house on them. And a lot of our early Gen 1 holders benefited a lot from that. I came in really late, when it was a real big dip. So, have I seen a lot of alpha and whitelist ops? There's been some, but our community's also been separated a bit. And I think, somebody said a comment yesterday where they said, oh, if you want to see, real whitelist opportunities and real ops, check out TOC. Oh, the Ordinals Club is fucking under our umbrella. So if our community doesn't see that as a benefit for being in PG, we're doing something wrong. We're really doing something wrong. Um, we don't do BTC calls really in PG because that's the avenue is we send them to TLC. So we're doing something wrong as a community, and I want to change that a little bit. So that's always the focus is to show the power of our community. That's always been our focus. That's always been our identity. That's always been a pillar for us. And you guys have done it. Like I said, we have six. I want to say it's 70, but I think like two people double signed. Somebody had to update their wallet. Um, One person doesn't want to add another server. I mean, beyond it fucking blows my mind. They said they're capped for their servers. I can't find. There's not one. You can't tell me that there's fucking not one server that you can't delete. If you really find value in somebody that doesn't really see the value, I guess. But um, we want to show the power of what being a PG holder is all about. We've always stood on that. So um, I've always been super respectful, super supportive of all the other projects under our umbrella, whether it be Maxis, TOC, iAgent now, BullX now. That's part of the better that those teams do, the better we eat. Not only are we getting airdrops for some of these tokens that are coming from them, but they're also in a sense a representation of us because all those projects are tied into to PG. So, um, yeah, I want to do a better job on you know giving the visual to people that the benefit is being a PG holder because you get XYZ, and part of that XYZ is being in the Citadel with the Sentinel crew and with the OGs that are kind of known for giving back to the community. So, Zazar, I hope that answers that. Bucus, yep, I'm cool with that. We can set you. We'll definitely add you in for that. As far as Soul and ETH-based collections, I like a pass. I would like Sentinel DAO just to have a membership as a supporter. Let's say only champions only for NFT. Blah blah blah. So, okay. Now that I read that whole statement, Bucus. So, um, we've talked about this. Actually, Tara's here. My dog. um, here's Man, us having our own NFT has been a conversation for at least like 6 months. I swear to God. Um, why did I go with an incentive based program before us doing anything like that? So, one, I like the fact that our value isn't attached to an NFT. Um, I think you guys can tell at this point. Um, if you pitch your value around the floor price of a certain NFT, that shit is guaranteed to go down. So we're one of the few projects communities, I should say, we're one of the few communities that aren't based around an NFT, and I think it does us justice. One of the few teams that I think, and I'm not in depth, like I'm not in this server, but throughout the year and a half, I've said this to Vista many times. There's really only like one project that I think, if you want to say is a competitor, it's not really a competitor, but like that is on the same, I think, wavelength as us as far as just like strategically. It's Surgeons, and they're not an NFT based project. So um, why did we go with the route that we're going? Is because for us to create an NFT costs money. Yeah, we can do like a simple pass on a free chain, etc., and stuff like that. But which we most likely will have to do in the future. If we do reach that thousand, that 1,000 mark that we want, it'll be something we revisit. Um, but us having to do that, we have to pay. We have to then put ourselves in another hole. So I said, instead of us doing that and putting our money into, a smart contract developer and an NFT, we're gonna actually put that money towards incentivizing, our actual champions. and putting the money there and hoping with the thought that that's going to help brand us in a better light, which will bring us more opportunities, more rice, those opportunities, more people, will bring us more revenue. Even if that means getting these maxis, raffles sold out. A lot of these raffles, just to let you guys know, we did 9 raffles last month. Yes, I started it with the little Z's that we started, but a couple of them sold out. With the free tickets and everything, it was pretty much a wash. I think if I'm being like accurate, I want to say I probably gained 0.05 ETH from those 9 raffles. So if you include the tickets we gave away for free that people were able to earn with just their SDAO points, um, you know, uh, we were doing, first people to buy, first 9 people to buy 3 get a free ticket. So like a lot of people took advantage of those. I didn't. I think we had like 1 or 2 that came back to the community, which is always a win. Um, but I think us growing our community and growing our holder base um, will help us keep the funds in house. It's like any good city, any good community. Um, you talk to certain cultures. Um, it's difficult keeping the dollar in the same community, and that's something that we got to be better at. Um, as a group, as a team. So uh, this, in sense, is to do that. This is the start of us trying to rotate the dollars within us. So we utilize our champions. Um, we utilize our own community, and we do it in a way that incentivize you guys. I know it's not a lot, but you guys have also been here since day one, so it's not like I have to tell you like, hey, we don't have funds. Like, nah, I'm gonna commit. We're gonna have a small budget, and I'm hoping that incentivize you guys to just give a little bit more time, make a couple more calls if you're doing the alpha incentive, write an extra thread, a couple threads throughout the month, and these threads, just to let you guys know, these are all going to be published through our inGrained 101 account. So uh, let's say Bucus writes a thread. Um, we'll post it on the inGrained one account. We'll give credit to the writer, which will do 2 things. One, it's going to tag the writer. Their followers will see it. It's going to show that um, that our platform is being utilized to bring light to some of these writers or some of our own community members, which I think in general will attract other people to figure out to like question like, what's going on here, which should create some incentive for those guys to join into our community. Once they see, once we start gathering new people in, um, this way, these people are going to be interested in seeing how they can join in and help out and do all these things. So instead of the NFT, we're gonna take a small commitment of funds and we're gonna put it to you guys, to our actual community members. So um, down the road, yes, I think we'll need that, but um, right now, we couldn't sell 1,000 NFTs if we tried. So and that's just the truth. So we got to be realistic with that. Um, yeah, better to give it to our people. That's really what it's about. So I think you're having a bad day. Yo, Vista, not Vista, Zazo. I don't think I've ever hit on one of these trades. So, all right, you guys, all good. I was not. Heard some things were said and don't know what. Okay. Any questions? Anything else that I can answer now? We're reaching on the hour mark. So, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I got to get started. Phone's gonna start to ring off the hook. Um, any other questions before we end the VC? Tara, did I answer? I was not. Yeah, good. I was not. Heard some things. Did you have any other specific questions, T? Okay. Oh, yeah, you're you're kind of already checked off on that box. So yeah, you're one of the you're one of the three. I'll say this, right? Those who have the champion role are like, that is like my stamp of approval. You didn't get that shit if we don't give you a stamp. So we got three alpha callers. Yes, I want all three of you guys to kind of partake in that program. So um, if that answers your question. No, I know. Trust, I know. Trust, I know. So we'll chit chat on that, Tara. Yes, it's you, Lit Machine, and Diablo. Those are kind of like our three. So um perfect. All right, you guys. Let me let you guys go. I got somebody standing at the door, waiting for me to turn my light on. So appreciate it. Um any feedback, tag us in, champion chat, plaza, wherever. Feel free to ask whatever questions. We have, I think it's like 15 people. There's like three inactives. I might remove the role, I might not. Um, but I really don't want to be honest, because people have earned this role. So unless they leave the Discord, I really don't want to eliminate. But um, interested in the program, if you think you can contribute to one of those three categories, for sure, DM me. I think the easiest thing is, our alpha callers, Terra, the Machine, and Diablo, very trustworthy, and they're usually not just giving you calls because they're getting paid for it. So that's how I like. That's the type of shit that I like. So we're not bought. We do the shit because we like to do it, and the shit that we do, we believe that we're doing it with the best interest of the community. So on that note, I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. We do have a space later on talking about community development, which will be on Twitter, which will be on our inGrained. It's going to be our first space. I think it's at 3:30. So if you do got time to tune in, if you haven't shared the link, just please go ahead and do that when you get a shot. Other than that, hope you guys have a good day, and we'll chit chat soon.